Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jasmine and today's video is part 2 of my sewing chat where I'm discussing the whole 30 fabric challenge. And I am going to share with you what I've made since posting part 1 and my sewing plans for the next 10 yards of this 3-part 30 yards breakdown. Now, if you don't know what the whole 30s fabric challenge is, please go back and watch part 1. I'll give an overview of that and my plans for how I was going to complete this fabric challenge. I also shared what I intended to sew for that first 10 yards, but true to fashion, I did not stick to what I had planned. But I did sew a few of the things that I had on that list, and let's talk about it. I used the 4 yards of double brush jersey knit from Joann to create 4 projects. First, I did the Aria twist top, which is a pattern by Green Styles Pattern. And it was a new to me pattern. So I did do a pattern review and you can read that on my website, which is strictstitchery.com if you're interested in the full pattern review. Now, I've only used it once so far to make that one top, but I do plan on using it in the future, like next spring and next summer, to make workout tops. I always like a good twist front top. And the second project that I did was McCall 7429. And that is also a twist front dress pattern. You can see, as you can see, I have a thing for twist front. But I used it to make a dress, and that would be, I want to say this is the third dress that I've made using that pattern. So I obviously really like the pattern and I really like that dress. I made it closer to the end of summer, so I only wore it one time, but I definitely will be wearing it again next year and for the next few years to come. And then the last 2 garments that I made using that fabric was McCall 6915 and McCall's 8374. And those were both garments for my niece's birthday outfit. So I think that she really likes it. She says she really likes it. She wore the top quite a few times and it came together really quickly. They're both fairly simple projects for a children's garment. So that pretty much took up the entire 4 yards of that fabric that I had. I think I have a little bit left over, but it's not enough to like really get anything out of. So after that is when I got off track. I ended up making Vogue 91.99. This is the second time that I've used that pattern. I do have a pattern review on my website for that one as well. But I did Vogue 91.99 and I omitted the sleeves for this particular dress. And I also made it color block. So it's a princess seam dress. And I absolutely love this dress pattern. I'm surprised I haven't used it to make more dresses. I guess it's just from having so many patterns that I haven't gone back to it. But if you are new to Vogue or you're just looking for a good intro to knit pattern, sewing knits pattern, this is the pattern for it. Vogue 91.99 is very easy. The pattern, there aren't a lot of pattern pieces to cut, and the instructions are well written. And then after that, I switched from garment making to making for the house. So I made 2 bowl koozies and I used Cricut Design Space for that. The project is a Cricut Design Space project. And I actually used my Cricut Maker to cut the pieces for that project. And I needed some bowl koozies. I already had one that I made a few years ago, so I needed some more. I've been cooking a lot more lately. I like to cook. I just usually don't have time for it. But the last few months I've actually been making time for it. So the bowl koozies were absolutely a necessity here. And then since I already had the Cricut Maker out, I switched over to making another vacation packing cube. And this pattern is by So Sweetness. It's a part of the Minikins collection. And this was from season 2 Minikins collection. And the great thing about that collection is that I believe most of them come with SVG files. So if you have a cutting machine and you like bag making, then that's a good collection to get. I had made a packing cube several years back, and I've actually needed another one for quite some time. So I used the Cricut Maker again to cut that particular project out as well, which was great because there are a lot of little pieces for that. And I don't know about anybody else, but cutting is probably the most tedious part of sewing. It besides cutting and then applying all the interfacing if you have a project with a lot of interfacing, which this project was also a project with a lot of interfacing. So it's just nice to have a break from some of the things sometimes. And that last project brought me up to I think the 10.5 yard mark. So I'm a little bit over 10 yards right now. Okay, now let's switch over to what I plan on sewing for the next 10 yards. First up, I want to use this rib knit that I have had for quite some time. Not quite some time. I probably only had this for 2 years, but I want to make a two-piece set using this. Um, I was thinking a basic A-line skirt would be cute, and then probably a bodysuit. I was thinking maybe the Georgia turtleneck, just converting it into a bodysuit, and that'd be really cute. And then I actually already have, let's see if I can get the pattern. I actually already have the pieces cut for this one. This is New Look 6301, and I'll be using this fabric. This is another knit. This is a knit pattern. As you say, it says just for knits. So it's designed for knit fabric. I'm going to be using this. I got this off of Etsy maybe like 4 years ago. So it's been here for a while to make that. And I actually already have that cut, but I'm just going to put that to the side until I sew the rib knit up. And after that, I am going to make a dress for my niece and I, using McCall's 8434 and McCall's 8445. And as you can see, these are similar designs. Now, I don't know if if I'm going to make us a matching design dress. I was thinking about doing view C, which is a sleeveless dress for her, and then view B for myself. And the fabric that I'm going to be using for that is going to be this punty knit right here. And I got this from Hobby Lobby maybe 4 years ago. It was on sale. It was $5 a yard. And so I purchased whatever was left on the boat. I purchased like 6 or 7 yards. And I've already used this before to make a skirt for myself as well as a top for my niece. So I should have a little bit enough left over to make the dresses for the both of us. And the contrast fabric will just be this basic black knit. It's a double brush knit from Joann. That'll be the contrast. And with those projects, that will bring me to the 20 yard mark. Probably take me a little bit past 20 yards, but that's okay. And after that, I'll just kind of sit down because I'm hoping to be done with this. Wishful thinking, but I'm hoping to be done with this by December, by the end of December, rolling into January. And then my birthday is in January, and I usually always sew something for myself. So then I'll have to figure out what I have in my stash that could be incorporated into a birthday outfit for myself. But I'm going to focus on what I have now to sew before I try to switch over to what I may or may not sew for my birthday. And that is it. That's the recap for what I've done so far and what I plan on doing. Thank you so much for joining in to my sewing chat. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment for me. I'll see you for the part 3.